The humans on the starship Horizon always said that the galaxy was full of strange things. But Lieutenant Marcus Hale never expected that he would one day stand in a hall filled with alien warriors. The hall was bright with silver light, shaped like a giant dome, and the air hummed with energy. Alien soldiers stood in silent rows, tall and powerful, their armor glowing faint blue. Their smooth skin and sharp features made them look like living statues, carved from ice and metal. They were a race called the Sirens, famous across the galaxy for their bravery and discipline. But today something unusual was happening. They had called a human to their training hall. They had called Marcus, and Marcus did not come alone. Beside him walked a small orange cat, fluffy and relaxed, as if it owned the entire station. The cat's tail pointed up confidently, its golden eyes shining with lazy interest at everything around it. The aliens watched the cat with confusion. They expected a weapon, or a secret human creature, or some powerful beast that humans used in war. Instead, they saw a house pet. Marcus could feel the questions in their bright eyes, but he stayed calm. He had been invited here because the Siren commanders wanted to test human courage. They wanted to know why humans never seemed afraid, even when facing danger that frightened stronger species. The leader of the alien warriors stepped forward. He was taller than the rest, his armor brighter, his stance proud. His voice echoed through the hall, deep and strong. "Human Marcus, we Sirens have fought many monsters on many worlds. We fear none of them. No creature frightens us." The rows of alien soldiers pounded their chests, shouting in agreement. Their voices thundered like a storm. Marcus listened quietly. He knew the Sirens loved their pride. They loved showing strength. But today they were about to learn something new, something unusual, something small, fluffy, and very unpredictable. Marcus crouched and gently scratched behind the cat's ear. The cat purred loudly, enjoying the attention. Then Marcus looked up at the alien commander with a slow smile. "You haven't met my aunt's cat," he said softly. The aliens exchanged confused looks. Some tilted their heads. Some narrowed their glowing eyes. They clearly expected Marcus to be joking, but his calm expression made them unsure. The commander raised one eyebrow. "This small creature, this is what your people consider dangerous." Marcus only replied with a simple, "You will see." The aliens gave a low, doubtful sound, like metal grinding softly. They stepped back as Marcus let the cat walk forward. The small animal padded confidently across the smooth floor, right into the center of the hall. Every alien eye followed it. The commander folded his arms, waiting. The cat sat down and began cleaning its paw. The aliens looked frustrated. One of the younger warriors whispered, "It is harmless. It is not even paying attention." Another replied quietly, "Maybe the human means it is hidden power." They stared harder. The cat ignored them. For a moment, silence filled the hall. Then a tiny noise echoed, a soft metallic ping as a small training drone activated above them. It was part of the hall's automatic system, drifting down to scan the new creature. It stopped directly over the cat, shining a blue light. The cat froze. The aliens leaned forward with interest. Marcus took a slow breath. He knew what was coming. The cat struck. In one instant it leapt high into the air, its claws flashing in the bright dome light. The aliens gasped as the small creature twisted its body perfectly, slamming into the drone with lightning speed. Metal shattered with a loud crack. The drone spun wildly, losing control, and burst into sparks before crashing to the floor. The cat landed gently on its feet, tail flicking as if nothing unusual had happened. The aliens stared with wide eyes. Some took a step back. Some grabbed their weapons even though there was no threat. But the cat was not finished. A second drone activated automatically, unaware of what happened to the first. The cat's ears twitched. The Sirens focused intensely. The second drone came closer. The cat crouched low, its eyes sharp like twin golden lasers. Then it launched forward again. The sound of claws hitting metal echoed through the hall. The drone dropped instantly, defeated. The aliens jumped in shock. A murmur filled the hall, the first sign of fear in their voices. The commander's proud posture weakened just a little. The humans in the galaxy were known for their bravery, but this was a house creature, not a soldier. And yet it moved like a perfect hunter, faster than the alien eye could follow. Marcus remained calm, but inside he enjoyed their reactions. He had grown up with this cat. He had seen it defeat spiders, drones, broken pipes, and anything that dared to move near his aunt's kitchen floor. He had survived its unpredictable mood swings. He knew the truth, no creature in the galaxy was brave enough until it fought a house cat on a bad day. The aliens slowly approached the fallen drones. They examined the claw marks, the crushed metal, the deep dents left by such a tiny creature. Their glowing eyes brightened in disbelief. The commander finally spoke, but his voice was quieter now. "Human Marcus, is this normal behavior for your world's animals?" Marcus shrugged casually. "For some cats, yes, but my aunt's cat is special. She has a temper." The cat sat proudly beside him, chest puffed slightly, as if accepting praise meant for a great warrior. The aliens stepped back again, clearly unsure of how to act around the small creature. Some kept their distance. Others looked at the cat as if it were a dangerous bomb that might explode. The tension grew thicker. The aliens' confidence began to weaken. They had invited Marcus to test human courage, but instead they felt something strange rising inside them, an emotion Xyrans rarely felt. Something they never admitted. Something they claimed to have defeated long ago. The cat slowly turned its head and stared directly at the commander. The commander froze. His armor lights flickered softly, responding to his heartbeat. Every alien in the hall held their breath. And the small orange cat took one single, slow step forward. The moment the small orange cat stepped toward the Xyran commander, every alien warrior in the hall reacted at once. Their glowing armor brightened as their bodies tensed. Some instinct inside them, older than their training, older than their pride, whispered a warning. The commander tried to stay calm, but even he shifted his weight backward. The cat's quiet confidence was unsettling. A creature this small should not move with such authority, yet here it was, acting like a ruler walking through its own territory. Marcus carefully watched their reactions. He had seen soldiers face giant beasts without fear, but today he saw something new. Real caution, real hesitation. The alien warriors stood ready, unsure if they should defend themselves or run. Marcus tried not to smile too widely. He did not want to embarrass them too much, but it was hard to hide his amusement. The cat walked slowly toward the commander, stopped a meter away, and stared up at him with deep, unblinking golden eyes. It didn't hiss, it didn't growl, it just stared. And somehow that was worse. The commander swallowed quietly. The hall was so silent that Marcus could hear the tiny hum of the heating vents. The alien soldiers looked at their leader, waiting for him to act. But the commander seemed frozen. The cat suddenly flicked its tail, and every alien warrior flinched. The cat tilted its head slightly, as if judging the commander's worth. Marcus wondered if the cat could somehow sense the Xyran's fear. Cats always seem to understand weakness, even in humans, especially in humans. Finally, the cat rubbed against the commander's shin, leaving a bit of fur on his bright armor. The sound of the soft purr echoed strangely in the large hall. The commander stiffened, unsure if this was a threat or a greeting. The aliens watched intensely, waiting for the next move. When nothing happened, a slow wave of uneasy relief spread through them. The cat calmly returned to Marcus and began grooming its paw again, completely ignoring the chaos it had created. The commander exhaled sharply. "Human Marcus," he said, regaining a bit of his pride, "your creature is unpredictable." Marcus nodded. "Yes, she is, and this is her good mood." Whispers spread through the alien ranks. They had expected humans to bring monsters, weapons, battle-hardened creatures. They had expected a demonstration of strength, not this. A house cat had done more damage to their pride in 2 minutes than any enemy fleet ever had. The commander slowly regained his composure and stepped toward Marcus. "We called you here to understand human fear," he said carefully. "We believed humans lacked fear because you evolved among weak creatures. But now we see that even your small animals are dangerous." Marcus shook his head gently. "No, not dangerous, just complicated. Humans understand fear very well, but we learn to live with it, even in our own homes." A young Xyran warrior stepped forward, his armor glowing brighter with curiosity. "Does this creature fight often? Is it used in your wars?" Marcus almost laughed. "No, she mostly sleeps, eats, knocks things off tables. Scratches people she doesn't like. She belongs to my aunt." The alien stared at the cat again as if it were a legendary creature. The young warrior seemed even more confused. "Your aunt trains warriors." Marcus shook his head. "No. My aunt works at a bakery." Silence fell again. The idea that a peaceful baker could own such a terrifying small beast was too much for their logic. The aliens were trying to understand something humans learned long ago. Never underestimate a cat. The commander finally turned to his soldiers. "We must run a deeper test," he declared. "If this is normal behavior for Earth creatures, we must understand their instincts." Marcus lifted an eyebrow. "A test? What kind of test?" The commander raised a hand. The huge dome lights changed color. The floor panels shifted, revealing a ring-like training ground. Holographic projectors activated around the edges, ready to generate moving targets and training enemies. The aliens built this arena to test warriors in high-speed combat. Today, they wanted to test a cat. Marcus blinked. "You want to test her in the arena?" The commander nodded. "We must understand the strength of even your smallest creatures." Marcus glanced at the cat. She was licking her paw with complete disinterest, unaware of the challenge she was about to face. He knew cats did what they wanted. If she didn't feel like participating, she would simply refuse. If she did feel like participating, the arena would not survive. The projectors came online, filling the arena with floating holographic shapes, small, fast-moving drones, simulated insects, bouncing lights, and shifting shadows. The arena was designed to challenge warrior reflexes at extreme speed. The aliens stepped back, forming a wide circle. The commander gestured politely. "Place the creature in the test zone." Marcus scooped the cat gently into his arms. She protested with a soft, irritated meow. I know," he whispered, "but they need to learn." He carried her into the center, placed her down, and stepped away. The cat looked around slowly, her ears twitching as she processed the new environment. The arena floor glowed with soft blue lines. A warm breeze of artificial air brushed across her fur. Then the first holographic insect zipped past her face. Her eyes widened. The aliens leaned forward. Another hologram darted behind her. Her tail twitched sharply. The arena released a cluster of fast-moving lights weaving in random patterns. The cat crouched, pupils expanding. She was no longer bored, she was hunting. Every alien warrior held his breath. The cat exploded into motion. One moment she was still, the next she blurred through the air, jumping, twisting, and swiping with breathtaking precision. The alien soldiers gasped as she struck multiple holograms in seconds, disrupting the projections and sending bright fragments scattering. Her reflexes were beyond anything they had ever seen. She flipped midair, landed perfectly, and attacked again. The commander whispered, stunned, "Impossible." Marcus crossed his arms. "This is normal." The cat continued attacking the lights, faster and faster. Every leap was graceful. Every strike was deadly. The aliens watched with awe, fear, and disbelief. Then, as quickly as it began, the cat stopped. She sat down and began grooming herself. The arena alarms beeped softly. A message appeared on the holographic display. Training system overloaded. Reset required. The aliens could not deny what they had seen anymore. For the first time in centuries, the Xyrans felt a creature had outmatched their reflexes, and it was a cat. The training hall remained silent long after the cat finished her grooming. The alien warriors stood frozen, staring at the message floating above the arena floor. The training system had never failed before. It had handled storms, meteor simulations, and giant war beasts created by holographic generators. But today, it shut down because of a house cat. A small, fluffy creature that weighed less than a Xyran child. Marcus watched their expressions carefully. Shock, confusion, maybe a little fear. The Xyrans were not used to being surprised. They were even less used to being humbled. The young warrior who earlier doubted the cat took a cautious step forward. His glowing armor dimmed slightly as his voice trembled. "How can something so small move so fast?" Marcus shrugged as if the answer was obvious. "Cats don't follow rules. They react before they think. That makes them unpredictable." Another alien whispered, "Unpredictable is dangerous." The cat blinked slowly at them as if judging their worth. She seemed proud of the mess she had caused. Her tail swayed in gentle movements, but for the Xyrans each motion felt like a warning. The commander finally inhaled deeply and addressed his soldiers. "We came here thinking fear was weak. But humans live beside creatures that ignore fear entirely." Marcus nodded. "Exactly. Humans don't eliminate fear, we adapt to it. We live with things we can't control, even in our own homes." The commander turned back to the cat with a thoughtful expression. Every Xyran warrior watched him, waiting for his decision. They needed answers. They needed clarity, and the commander felt he had none. The cat stretched slowly, letting her claws slide out before relaxing again. The small sound of her claws clicking on the floor echoed through the hall. That tiny noise sent several aliens stepping backward. Marcus tried his best to remain respectful, but inside he found the scene strangely funny. These proud warriors, trained for battle since childhood, were scared of a creature that liked sunlight and tuna. The commander stepped closer to Marcus. "Human," he said slowly, We must understand more about how your species lives with such beings. If this is only one cat, then Earth must be a very dangerous place. Marcus tilted his head. Earth isn't dangerous because of cats. Earth is dangerous because humans had to survive alongside creatures like them. The commander didn't seem convinced. To him, the logic was impossible. How could humans develop bravery living with small, unpredictable creatures instead of giant beasts? But Marcus could see they were beginning to understand something important. Humans didn't grow brave because the world was easy. Humans grew brave because the world was chaotic. The commander raised a hand, signaling the hall lights to shift. The blue glow softened, replaced by a pale silver shimmer. "We must run another demonstration," he said. "Not a test for the creature, a test for you, human Marcus." Marcus blinked. "A test for me?" The commander nodded firmly. "We need to understand how you stay calm beside such a violent little being." Marcus glanced at the cat again. She was rolling on her back now, purring softly, completely harmless looking. But Marcus remembered the many scars on his aunt's arms from years of sudden cat attacks. He understood the Zyron's confusion. The commander gestured toward a set of tall sliding doors on the far side of the hall. They opened slowly, revealing a narrow corridor illuminated by golden lights. "Follow me," he said. Marcus walked beside him, the cat trotting behind like a royal companion. The alien warriors remained in the hall, whispering among themselves, still shaken. The corridor curved gently, leading them into another chamber, darker, quieter, shaped like a sphere with thousands of tiny glowing dots on the walls. The commander spoke in a serious tone. "This place is where we study fear." Marcus studied the chamber. "Fear room?" The commander nodded. "This room records the emotional signal, the pulse of anyone who enters. Even the smallest rise in fear shows on the walls." Marcus smiled slightly. "And you want to see how I react?" "Yes," the commander said. "We want to know if humans truly feel no fear around dangerous creatures." Marcus knelt beside the cat. He whispered, "Try to behave, okay?" The cat meowed loudly, as if refusing the suggestion. Marcus carried her inside the chamber. The walls glowed softly as the system activated. The commander stepped in after him. The door closed behind them with a quiet hiss. The moment the room sealed, the dots on the walls shifted to bright blue, neutral state. "You may begin," the commander said. Marcus placed the cat on the floor and stood still. The commander waited for something to happen. Marcus waited too. The cat yawned. For a moment nothing changed. The dots behind Marcus remained the same calm blue. Then the cat decided to do what cats always do in the worst possible moment. She walked up to Marcus's leg, slowly extended one paw, and sank her claws into his ankle. Marcus's entire body locked for a second. He inhaled sharply, trying not to flinch. The pain shot up his leg like fire. He kept his face calm, but when he looked at the walls, the dots behind him glowed bright red, fear signal detected. The commander gasped softly. "She attacked you," Marcus forced a smile through clenched teeth. "This is normal." The cat let go and rubbed against him affectionately, as if nothing had happened. The red dots slowly faded back to blue. The commander studied the system, confused. "You stayed calm even while bleeding. Why?" Marcus wiped the small scratch with his sleeve. "Because humans deal with fear all the time, at home, at work, on missions. Fear never goes away. We just learn to function with it." The commander lowered his head, thinking deeply. "So fear does not control you?" Marcus nodded. "No, it teaches us." The cat walked over to the commander and stared up at him again. The commander held perfectly still. The fear chamber lit faint red behind him, exposing his hidden emotion. He felt it. He couldn't hide it. The cat simply blinked, unimpressed, and walked away. The commander exhaled in relief so strong that even the chamber heard it. "Human Marcus," he whispered, "your species is strange." Marcus smiled. "So are cats." The commander did not argue. They left the fear chamber together, the cat walking proudly ahead of them like she owned the station. The alien warriors outside straightened in attention, watching closely. They waited for the commander's verdict. The commander looked at them slowly, his voice steady but different now, almost humbled. "There is much we still do not understand," he said, "about humans and about this creature." Marcus stood beside him, knowing this was only the beginning. When Marcus and the commander stepped back into the main hall, the alien warriors stood in tense formation. Their glowing eyes shifted between Marcus and the cat, unsure of what new revelation was coming. The air felt heavier now, almost charged. Everyone expected the commander to explain what happened inside the fear chamber, but he stayed silent for a moment, as if choosing his words carefully. The cat walked proudly ahead of Marcus, tail raised high, acting like she led an army instead of a single human. The warriors stared at her with a mix of respect and terror. Even the young warrior who once mocked the cat tried to keep as much distance as possible. He whispered to another soldier, "This creature senses fear. It knows who is weak." His companion nodded quickly. "Do not let it stare at you. It sees inside your soul." They both stiffened when the cat glanced their way, though she was only looking for a comfortable spot to sit. Marcus noticed how the entire hall shifted around her, like planets orbiting a tiny sun. The commander finally stepped forward. His voice was calm but carried a weight his soldiers had never heard before. "Today we have seen something unusual," he said. "Humans do feel fear, but they do not let it rule them. They stand beside dangerous creatures and still remain steady." The warriors listened quietly. They had expected to learn human weakness. Instead, they learned human strength. Marcus gently lifted the cat into his arms. She made a small purring sound, almost smug. "She's not dangerous all the time," Marcus said. "She can be gentle too." But the aliens did not seem convinced. The memories of the destroyed drones and the overloaded system were still fresh in their minds. The commander placed a hand on his chin. "There is one more thing we must understand," he said. "If humans learned courage from living beside such unpredictable creatures, then we must witness how humans protect others." Marcus frowned. "Protect others how?" The commander turned toward a tall, sealed door at the back of the hall. "We will simulate a threat," he said, "and observe how you respond when you believe the creature is in danger." Marcus's expression shifted instantly. He held the cat closer. "You're not putting her at risk." The commander raised both hands in a peaceful gesture. "We would never harm her. The simulation is only light and sound, but it will appear real to you." Marcus looked down at the cat, who was now licking her paw with complete indifference. She didn't seem worried. Marcus, however, understood something very clearly. Humans might not fear aliens, storms, or space battles, but when it came to their pets, their instincts changed completely. The doors opened, revealing a large circular chamber with smooth metallic walls and a glowing floor. It resembled the arena, but this room felt colder, quieter, and more controlled. Marcus stepped inside with the cat still in his arms. The commander entered behind him, followed by a few high-ranking warriors. The door closed with a heavy sound. Inside the chamber, a soft, mechanical voice echoed. "Simulation ready." Marcus positioned the cat gently on a low platform. She sat on it comfortably, as if it were a warm pillow. Then the walls darkened. A faint rumble shook the floor. Marcus's muscles tightened. Lights flickered, forming the outline of a large, shadowy figure approaching the platform. It wasn't real, he knew that, but it felt real. The simulation projected sound, heat, and vibrations. The cat's ears twitched. She turned toward the shadow, not afraid, only annoyed. The commander observed Marcus closely. His eyes glowed brighter as he watched the human's reaction. The shadow grew larger, more threatening, moving straight toward the cat. Marcus stepped forward immediately, placing himself between the shadow and the small creature. His stance changed. He was calm a moment ago, but now he looked like a warrior ready to fight a monster. The simulation intensified. The floor rumbled harder. The cat let out a small hiss, more out of irritation than fear. The shadow loomed closer. Marcus positioned himself firmly, one arm protectively behind him. The commander watched with deep interest. "You moved without hesitation," he said quietly. "Why?" Marcus kept his eyes on the projection. "Because she trusts me, and I protect those who trust me." The commander tilted his head. "Even if you feel fear," Marcus nodded, "fear doesn't matter, responsibility matters." The simulation launched a loud roar. The chamber shook. The cat puffed up slightly, fur standing on end. Marcus stepped forward with a sudden motion, raising his arm as if holding a shield. The projection slammed into him with a burst of bright light. The cat darted off the platform and climbed up his shoulder, clinging to his uniform. Marcus didn't flinch. He held his ground until the light faded and the room returned to silence. The cat stayed perched on his shoulder, annoyed but unharmed. Marcus stroked her back gently. She calmed immediately. The commander looked at the two of them, fascinated. "So this is how humans are," he said. "Your courage increases when you defend another." Marcus nodded, "Especially when that other is family." The cat meowed loudly as if agreeing. The commander's eyes dimmed softly, a sign of understanding. "Humans protect even the weak," he said, and the weak become strong because of them. The simulation doors opened, and the alien warriors watched Marcus step out with the cat sitting proudly on his shoulder. Their expressions softened. They no longer saw a dangerous beast. They saw something else, something more confusing, something more powerful in a way they did not expect. They saw a bond. The commander raised his voice so all warriors could hear. We have seen human courage. We have seen their fear. But most importantly, we have seen their loyalty. Humans are not fearless, but they choose to act even when they are afraid. Marcus lowered the cat into his arms again. She nestled comfortably, tail curled around his wrist. The warriors looked at it. The question hung in the air like a silent spark. Marcus felt the weight of it immediately. The warriors stared at the commander, surprised by the challenge. The idea that a small house cat could protect a human seemed impossible to them. They believed strength came only from size, speed, and training. They believed protection was a warrior's duty, not something given by a small creature with soft fur and bright eyes. But they still waited for Marcus to answer. Marcus looked down at the cat resting in his arms. She blinked up at him slowly, her golden eyes calm and unbothered. To anyone else, she looked harmless. But Marcus knew better. He had watched her defend her food bowl from a dog 3 times her size. He had seen her attack a cleaning bot like it was a mortal enemy. He had the scars to prove she could be fierce when she chose to be. He smiled slightly. She can protect me, he said confidently, but only when she decides I need protection. The aliens whispered among themselves. They were not sure if Marcus was joking. The commander lifted a hand, silencing the room. Then we will see, he said. Prepare the demonstration. The hall shifted again. The floor retracted, forming a new circular space, wider than the arena, smoother than the fear chamber. The lights dimmed, replaced by a warm reddish glow that made the metallic walls shimmer like fire. Above them, the station's ceiling opened, revealing a large hollow projector. The commander turned to Marcus. In this test, the threat will be directed at you. Your creature may act, or it may not. We cannot predict it. Marcus nodded slowly. He knew he could not force the cat to do anything. Cats were independent. They acted when they wished. But Marcus trusted her instincts. She always knew when something felt wrong. He gently placed her on the floor. She walked a slow circle around his feet, sniffing the ground, tail twitching with curiosity. The alien warriors stepped back to the edges of the hall. They watched with caution, unsure if they should be afraid for Marcus or for themselves. The commander gave the signal. The hollow projector flickered and the lights dimmed further. A low rumble began beneath the floor, building like distant thunder. Marcus stood still, hands at his sides, but alert. The cat sat a short distance from him, her gaze following the flickering shadows forming on the walls. The first shape appeared, tall, dark, with glowing red eyes. It moved with heavy steps, its shadow stretching across the room like a creature from a nightmare. The aliens recognized the shape instantly. A predator used in their highest-level warrior trials. A creature meant to test fear, reflex, and courage. Marcus knew it wasn't real, but the simulation always felt real. It had been designed that way on purpose. The cat stared at the shadow, unblinking. The shape roared, a deep echo that vibrated through the hall. Marcus felt the air tremble against his chest. The aliens remained silent, watching closely. The creature approached Marcus, its massive holographic form looming over him. The red light from its eyes bathed his face. The commander watched every detail. "Will the creature act?" he whispered. The cat stood up. She walked forward, slow and steady. Marcus's heart jumped. He knew this walk. It was the same walk she used when approaching something she believed belonged to her, food, a box, Marcus himself. The cat stopped directly between Marcus and the hologram. Her fur raised slightly. Her ears flattened. Her tail lowered into a straight line. She hissed. The sound echoed sharply through the hall. The aliens all jolted backward. Even the commander flinched. The hologram reacted too, adjusting its posture, stepping back as if startled. It wasn't programmed to fear. It wasn't programmed to retreat. But the simulation responded to motion and threat signals, and the cat's sudden aggression triggered every warning system inside it. The creature lunged. The warriors gasped. Marcus instinctively reached out, ready to grab the cat, but she moved first. She leapt, not high, not far, nothing dramatic, but she jumped directly into the hologram's projected chest. And though the image was made of light, the sensors inside the simulation detected the strike. The hologram glitched, flickered, and shrank backward as if struck by something strong enough to knock it off balance. The aliens watched with wide eyes. The cat landed gracefully and hissed again, louder this time. her body lowered into a perfect defensive stance. Her gaze locked onto the creature. Even though the hologram had no real mind, the simulation reacted as if challenged. The creature tried to advance again, but every time it moved, the cat stepped forward, keeping Marcus behind her. The commander stared in disbelief. "It protects him," he whispered. "The small creature protects him." Marcus didn't move. He let the cat fight her battle the way she understood it. Her fur bristled like fire. Her eyes glowed with fierce determination. Every time the hologram came close, she struck at the air, triggering glitch bursts that forced the simulation to reset its attack path. The aliens had never seen anything so strange and so powerful in its own way. Finally, after a short delay, the chamber lights turned bright and the simulation shut down with a loud chime. Threat neutralized. The hologram vanished. The cat remained standing in the same defensive posture, staring at the empty space where the creature had been. Marcus knelt beside her. She turned to him, blinked once, and then rubbed against his arm as if nothing unusual had happened. The warriors erupted into confused chatter. Some were impressed, some were alarmed, some looked genuinely frightened of the cat's courage. The commander stepped forward slowly, his armor glowing softly. He studied the cat with a newfound respect. "Human Marcus," he said, "your creature does not understand fear the way we do." Marcus smiled. "Cats don't fear much at all." The commander shook his head. "No, it is more than that. It is loyal. It protects you because it chooses to." Marcus nodded. "That's how trust works, even between species." The warriors fell silent again, realizing something far bigger than cats or humans was happening. They were witnessing a truth they had never understood. Strength did not always look like a warrior. Sometimes it looked like a small, fluffy animal willing to fight shadows for someone it cared about. The commander turned away from Marcus, his voice rising so all could hear. "There is one final understanding we must reach," he said. "One last truth of humanity." He faced Marcus again. "We must visit Earth." The cat meowed loudly, as if approving the idea. The hall fell into a deep, thoughtful silence after the commander announced the final step. The alien warriors exchanged concerned glances. Visiting Earth was not something they ever imagined doing. To them, Earth was a strange planet filled with unpredictable weather, unpredictable humans, and now, apparently, unpredictable animals. But the commander had made up his mind. If they truly wanted to understand humanity, they needed to see the world that shaped them. Marcus gently picked up the cat, who rested comfortably in his arms, purring softly. "Earth isn't that scary," he said with a small smile. "Most of the time." The aliens didn't look convinced. The commander signaled his officers, and a shuttle was prepared within minutes. Its silver wings opened like petals, glowing faint blue as it activated. The Zyrans boarded with stiff posture, unsure if they were traveling toward discovery or danger. Marcus entered the shuttle last, carrying the cat. She looked around as if expecting more entertainment. When the doors sealed and the engines hummed, the journey began. The shuttle glided smoothly out of the station, stars stretching across the windows like glitter scattered in darkness. The aliens watched Marcus, observing how comfortable he looked in the quiet of space. They were used to silence, order, and discipline. Humans, however, carried warmth with them, Marcus with his relaxed smile, the cat with her soft purring. After hours of flight, Earth appeared in view, a glowing blue orb wrapped in white clouds. The Zyrans stared in awe. They had visited many planets, but Earth looked alive in a way most worlds did not. Oceans shimmered. Storms curled like sleeping beasts. Continents glowed warmly under sunlight. "It is beautiful," one warrior whispered. "And loud," Marcus replied with a grin. "Very loud, you'll see." The shuttle landed near a quiet suburb where Marcus's aunt lived. Trees lined the streets, birds chirped from branches, and distant dogs barked behind fences. The Zyrans stepped out, rigid and cautious. Every sound made their armor light flicker. They had never been to such an open, unpredictable environment. "This is chaotic," the commander said softly. "This is home," Marcus replied. He led them through a path of gardens and small houses until they reached one with a blue door and a flower box overflowing with bright red blossoms. Marcus knocked lightly. The door opened at once. A cheerful older woman stood there wearing an apron dusted with flour. "Marcus, you're finally here," she said warmly. Then she noticed the aliens behind him. "Oh my, you brought friends." The aliens froze. They didn't know how to respond to such friendliness. The aunt smiled wider. Come in, you must be hungry." Without waiting for their answer, she ushered them inside. The alien stepped in awkwardly, confused by the smell of fresh bread and the cozy warmth of a human home. It felt different from their metal halls, softer, smaller, alive with color and sound. The cat jumped from Marcus's arms and ran straight to a sunny spot on the rug. She stretched, yawned, and curled up contentedly. The alien stared at her, remembering everything she had done earlier, unsure how the small creature could look so peaceful now. Marcus's aunt placed a tray of warm bread on the table. "Sit, sit, tell me why these tall fellows look so nervous." Marcus chuckled. "They're studying fear." His aunt raised an eyebrow. "Studying fear, and you brought them here, oh dear." "Well, nothing teaches fear faster than stepping on a Lego piece, but we don't need to traumatize them so soon." The aliens exchanged confused looks. They didn't know what a Lego was, but the tone made them uneasy. The commander approached the cat carefully. He knelt beside her, studying her relaxed posture. "This creature protects you," he said quietly. Marcus nodded. "Yes, because she decided to. It's not something you can command, it's something you build." The commander looked around the house. The pictures on the walls, the soft blankets, the gentle light coming through the window. Everything felt lived in, touched by love and time. He realized that fear was not the center of human life. Connection was. Marcus's aunt stepped forward, wiping flour from her hands. "You want to understand humans?" she asked, smiling kindly. "Then understand this: humans take care of those they love. And sometimes those they love take care of them. It works both ways." The commander absorbed her words slowly. He looked at the cat again. "Your creature has strength but also trust." Marcus nodded. "Exactly. That's what makes humans strong too." Suddenly, a loud crash came from outside. A delivery truck had dropped a metal container, startling birds into flight. The sound echoed sharply. The cat leapt up, fur puffed, eyes wide. The aliens all jumped backward, instincts on high alert. But Marcus simply walked to the window and looked out calmly. "Just a delivery," he said. The aliens realized something then. Humans lived in constant noise, constant unpredictability, yet they adapted. Their world did not frighten them. It trained them, not by force, but by daily life. Marcus's aunt placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder. "You grew up here, you learned courage here. Even your cat learned to protect the people she cares about." The commander stepped back, understanding now forming clearly in his mind. "We feared nothing because we chose to remove fear from our lives," he said slowly. "But humans, you learn to live beside it." Marcus nodded. "Fear isn't the enemy, it's the teacher." The commander bowed his head slightly. It was a gesture